Could I have easily written that scene? Like really easily? No, I couldn't have easily written that. No, I could not. So I usually don't make videos like this, but when you see a film that's just so good that you gotta talk about it, and I gotta talk about it. And it's a film called Talk to Me. The film is directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. So after making it into Sundance, this movie gained a lot of buzz. And that buzz ignited a bidding war that eventually resulted in A24 picking up the movie. So the film so far made about 40 million worldwide. And something cool about the filmmakers is that they're YouTubers, and their YouTube channel is called RackaRacka. And months back when I saw the trailer for the movie, I was like, oh cool, another horror movie. But when I saw this movie, I was like, oh what? So for some context, years ago I saw this movie directed by Scott Derrickson. It was called Sinister. So if you've been here along on the channel for a while, you know I talk about the movie a lot. One thing I loved about Sinister is that it not only told a terrifying story, but if you look beneath the film's scary premise, the film also has an awesome message that I think is super relevant today. So really quickly, Ellison Oswald is this true crime writer, and he wrote this book that gave him a lot of fame and a lot of fortune. And without spoiling the movie, he goes to great lengths to get back to that past fame and fortune that he had. In a lot of great horror films, you'll learn that the main character is their worst enemy because they make choices that we'd never make, right? Like, don't go in that door, don't walk into the house. Like, what are you doing? But one thing that grounds these horror films is the fact that these characters are slaves to their own internal conflicts. But unfortunately, in these horror films, internal conflicts have their way of manifesting themselves in the physical world that ends up wreaking havoc on themselves and everyone that they care about. Now, the main character is Mia, and she hasn't been staying home as much since something happened with her mom, but Mia's staying with a friend and her mother and her friend's brother. They go to a party, and crap starts to pop off. Now, Mia has many flaws, but there's one flaw in particular that ends up eventually hurting her and everyone around her. Not only is this film just as scary as Sinister, but the film has its way of really making you feel for every character who's involved. But obviously Mia is our main character, and we learn about her, what makes her tick, what she's been through, her past, what she wants, and all of her personal insecurities. And the filmmakers do a really great job of tying all of her flaws into this terrifying experience that makes it fun for everybody watching. I know, like, when I'm watching a great horror film, when I see a scene that I haven't quite experienced anywhere else. And yes, moments in this film I've experienced before, but what makes this film unique is its perspective. The script feels like it had a fresh voice, colorful characters. Now there's this one scene in particular that to me encapsulated what the whole film was about, tied into Mia's central conflict beautifully, and it also tied into the film genre. It's that Oscar-worthy scene. You know those scenes that horror films should win the Oscars for, but they don't? Because horror films don't win Oscars for some weird reason. It worked in The Sixth Sense. Anyway, I'm talking about a scene where Mia is talking to one of her deceased relatives through her friend. And this scene legitimately gave me goosebumps. Because I'm in the movie theater taking notes like that. It was really good. In a lot of ways, it was very disturbing, it was very scary, but it was also very peaceful and beautiful and sweet at the same time. I believe it's a scene that you'll only find in this particular movie, done in this particular way, this effectively. Anyway, it was a very unique scene. And I was like, yeah, they did that. And that scene was a springboard for stuff to pop off later. And listen, after seeing this movie, I don't want anybody saying that feature film structure doesn't work, that it makes the film predictable or no other nonsense like that. Not only did I feel that the movie hit all the structural beats we talk about here on the channel all the time, but it ebbs and flows beautifully between positive moments and negative moments so dynamically that gives it a nice sense of kinetic energy, gives the film a nice heartbeat. And I think that carried the film from beginning to end. Anyway, enough of my rant. What did you guys think about the movie? Did you like it or didn't you? The biggest test that I use if I really like the film is I see, okay, could I have easily written that scene? Like really easily? No, I couldn't have easily written that. No, could not. Unlike many films, you can tell that the filmmakers actually cared about their audience as they were writing it. And they trusted the audience enough to write these characters in such fascinating different ways. And there's no characters in here that are simply black and white. They're like in this gray spectrum, because the filmmaker wrote it in such a way that the issues they deal with are somewhat complex. Anyway, I want to hear what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're a filmmaker or a screenwriter, definitely consider subscribing. If you're like, huh, what's a central conflict, or controlling idea, or blah, 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 definitely subscribe. Feel free to watch one of these videos. Don't forget to check out my film on Amazon Prime, Plex, Tubi TV, Hoopla. Pick up a Clover Key if you're a filmmaker and want a camera plate, screwdriver, and a bottle opener. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys. Until next time, peace.